14. My name is Larry Lee Slott. I was a student of Buckminster Fuller before I studied molecular biology and quantum physics. I invented the world's first genetic engineering home cloning kit. I also cloned the world's first polyphenolic surgical adhesive. From the blue mussel, Mytilus edulis, I created the world's first building material that could replace steel-reinforced concrete. Some Massachusetts politicians took my Mytilus edulis DNA constructs from me under duress in 1987 and never returned them. Federal Court Case 90-11826-MA. That crime retarded to a large degree my objective, which was the construction of a large bridge. The building material, a type of mother of pearl I called kaolin. Kaolin is calcium carbonate protein, came from conchiolin. Conchiolin is a muscle mantle protein. It attracts calcium carbonate as it fights global warming. I do not think there is a way of saving planetary life without also solving the human population come carbon problem. My bridges will do that without the loss of human life that the other current carbon capture ideas are proposing. Politically acceptable solutions today, religion, tyranny, surveillance states, pandemics, pollution of water supplies, poisonous food, etc. may slow down the inevitable, but the tipping point has already been passed. Powers may eliminate some of the minor problems by starving to death the poor and disenfranchised of the world. These measures will not succeed for long. Why not? Because human population pressure cannot be relieved except by cultural change and redundantly tetrahedralized carbon-fixing bridges. These bridges will provide biosustainable habitat for hundreds of billions more people and species. The aspiration to create habitat and renew environmental resources came to me through a mental stimulus image I received over 43 years ago. I am still following its directives today. I believe it came from universal consciousness, a derivative of entropy. When employed in a matrix of carbon-fixing redundant tetrahedrons, these structures will be capable of reaching beyond the current biosphere, creating the world's first transatlantic bridges. Unfortunately, we must accept the great caveat hope if we are to attempt realization. Of all the organisms on this planet, we are the only ones that have enough consciousness given us by nature to translate from the abstract idea into concrete reality. Great gifts like these entail great responsibilities or they consume their possessors. We are acting very irresponsibly now. Our civilization is dying. Why? Because our will is weak. Because we do not have a vision to guide us. Young said, in dreams begins responsibility. Too low they build who build below the skies. Albert Schweitzer said, have reverence for life. He who has been given must give in return. Great will is needed before such aspirations as this one can be appreciated. Humans can build such glorious will because we have a special consciousness conceptive apparatus that allows it. Emerson said, there is nothing capricious in nature, and the implanting of a desire indicates that its gratification is in the constitution of the creature that feels it. Frank Lloyd Wright said, the human race built most nobly when limitations were greatest, and therefore when most was required of imagination in order to build it all. Limitations seem to have always been the best friends of architecture. Aristotle said, nature does nothing uselessly. 1978 technology, when I envisioned my bridge, did not exist to build structures so large. Building materials and engineering designs were seriously inadequate. I needed to build a recombinant DNA laboratory to acquire them. Entropy had thrown me into a dumpster diving trick bag. I was broke, no job, living in a wooden shack with my wife and 3 kids in the poorest section of Kingston, Massachusetts. We were recently dislocated from living in a condemned, glorified pile of bricks on Mass Ave in Dorchester, Mass. Out of a hole in the ground with no money, I built a multi-million-dollar laboratory, Genemsco Inc. Recombinant DNA clones containing much esoteric information are very weak. I found new chemical combinations to protect them sufficiently to create a $1 billion per year product, a polyphenolic adhesive. Was I some genius? No, I had just been kicked out of MIT for being too stupid to think correctly. I proved I was no genius. It wasn't intelligence alone that did these things. Will did these things, folks. Will. Just imagine what the will of 8 billion people could do for this planet if we work together on the same vision. I have that vision. The Ponty Bus is that vision. You can make it real. Thank you for listening.